Thank you. I think that I have to start first by thanking FIFA for not scheduling a quarterfinal during our graduation. We made the request and we didn't even have to pay any money, which is hard to believe, but they listened. So I think that's really great to see all of you here and not in front of the TV screens. Dear families, friends, alumni, Insead board members, staff and faculty, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the MBA graduation of the class of 2018J. Especially I want to welcome all of you graduates to this ceremony. Today is the beginning. It is not the end of your relationship with Insead, because you are the Insead of the future. As our graduates, we believe that Insead has prepared you to embrace your new role in the world, whether as a disruptor, transformational change agent, or an outstanding leader. Most importantly, I hope that Insead has prepared you to be a force for good. I want to talk a little bit about the history of our school because we all should be very proud of it. It is a mission-driven, independent, global and diverse business school. We have always been mission-driven school. Insead was founded in 1959 by Georges Doriot, and from day one, when he was a professor at Harvard Business School, he wanted to bring, not only to bring management education here to Europe, but from day one, he viewed Insead as a place to promote peace and prosperity by bringing together people from all over Europe. So the Europeans, instead of fighting with each other, they can actually get together and build businesses together. We started here, actually in the Chateau Fontainebleau was the first Insead class in 1959 with 53 students, and today, as you can see, we graduate over 500 students in July and 500 in December. So the school has grown tremendously over the last 60 years and has done so in a very successful way. Insead has been always very innovative. Not only we started the first MBA program outside North America, the first one-year MBA globally, but we have created a lot of innovation in executive education and in MBA. This year, as it was mentioned already, we are celebrating 50 years from the day when the first female students joined Insead in 1967-68. And by doing this, yes. Last week, we had a great event where Hélène Ploie, one of these students, so there were two, Solange Perret and Hélène Ploie, was on campus to celebrate her 50th reunion. And today, of course, it is obvious that women should go to business schools. At that time, if you listen to her, it was a fight. And we are so happy that she was a pioneer, not only for Insead, but globally. I think that going back and looking at what Insead has achieved in the last 60 years is nice, heartwarming, gives us a lot of pleasure. But at the same time, we have to recognize that today the world is changing and we have a lot of challenges. Insead was built on the belief that business is a force for good. And if you look around the world in the last 30, 40 years, business creation has generated economic growth which eventually lifted people out of poverty. In China alone, since 1980, more than 850 million people have been lifted out of extreme poverty, which is absolutely unprecedented. When you think about business creation as a force for good, you realize that then the mission of the school is very simple. Get these young, bright people to come to our school, help them develop their skills, learn finance, economics, accounting, strategy, OB, and then go out and make the best possible decisions to accelerate growth and lift people out of poverty. Today, however, this is not enough. Today, we see that tensions between business and society are rising. In many countries, the trust in business is in all-time low. And we cannot stay still. We have to figure out why is this happening. Why, despite all this job creation, all these good things that businesses are doing, people do not trust many businesses around the world. And when you think about it, you realize that in addition to the great impact that business has, there are also a lot of externalities that businesses create, and some of them are negative. Today, in many countries, it is acceptable still to take clean air, clean water, and emit polluted water and polluted air. And this, of course, creates tension. The more you think about it, the more you realize that there are market failures, that there are institutional failures, where the simple market outcome is not happening. So we want actually to be pioneers in changing the way that we think about business. We have a very ambitious goal. We want to change management education. We want our students, our alumni, in the process of value creation for their company, to think, what is the impact that they create in the society? And by just thinking about this, try to improve the outcomes for the society as well. Today, our norms are different. Tomorrow, they will change. 60 years ago, or even 51 years ago, it was normal to come to Insead, go in the classroom, and to see only men in the classroom. And that is not acceptable anymore. 250 years ago, when the Americans fought against the Brits and won, they wrote this wonderful document called the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson was one of the founding fathers, and probably he was the one drafting this document. The second sentence of the Declaration is probably one of the most cited sentences in the world. We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are equal, and we're created equal by our Creator, with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. As Thomas Jefferson was writing this, writing how all men are equal, he owned 600 slaves. And that was acceptable and normal at the time. The more you go back in history, the more you realize how norms have been so different from what we accept today. So we have to ask the question, what are the norms today? What is the normal today that tomorrow people will find unacceptable? And I think that the way that we do business is one of these norms. We live in an imagined reality, and we have to reimagine the future of business. So, in closing, I must charge you with call to action for Insead. Actually, at this point, it is very tempting to give you, inspirational phrases like, aim high, distinguish yourself, challenge yourself, aim higher, be the best version of yourself, be even better than your best version of yourself, aim even highest, even above that. But actually, I want to ask you something else. The first thing I want to ask you is actually to be inspired by challenges. Because very often, when we face difficulty, it is tempting to withdraw and not to be as innovative and creative. And I'll give you one example. In March 2016, AlphaGo, the computer program developed by DeepMind, Google's project, managed to beat the world's best player, one of the masters of the Asian game of Go, Lee Sedol, in 4 out of 5 games. What is interesting about this is that in the second game, the computer made a move called Move 37, which took by surprise everybody. All the commentators were absolutely shocked by this, and they said it is 1 in 10,000 probability to make a move like this. This move actually won the game. In game 4, Lee Sedol was behind the game until his move 78. And his move 78 surprised everybody. The commentator said it's a 1 in 10,000 chance of having this move. When you listen to Lee Sedol, what he was talking about when he was describing the game, he said that actually he was inspired by the computer. And instead of withdrawing and accepting the defeat, he was puzzled how you can create such a strange move that leads to winning the game. So find your move 78 and be inspired. Second, if Insead is the business school for the world, I must ask you each and every one of you how will make Insead your own, how you specifically and uniquely will contribute to our mission of making business as a force for good. We are a different school. We're mission-driven with strong values. We want also values-driven business leaders. We want not only to admire the rise of the companies that you will be leading, but we want, as part of your community, to admire you for what you have stood up. Third, I'm asking you to be our ambassadors for Insead, for what Insead represents. Insead is about inclusion, diversity, tolerance, friendships. And while today we see a lot of divisions and we see how governments want to build walls, we ask you to start building bridges, because that's what we expect from our Insead alumni. So let us continue to champion diversity, which we see here in this room, because I believe that diversity is key to strengthening individuals, businesses, institutions, and society. I hope we'll continue, like our founding fathers, to promote peace and prosperity for every individual, community, and country in the world. We are proud that you did your MBA at Insead. I have no doubt that the class of 2018J will change our world for the better and will contribute much to the prominence of our alumni and our school, which now you can call your own. You are Insead. You are not only alumni now, from now on, you are our partners in this magical journey called Insead. Congratulations, thank you, and good luck.
Our graduation speaker, Silvia Candiani, MBA 96J. Hold on a second. Silvia is CEO for Microsoft Italy, and in her role, she's in charge of Microsoft's business in Italy with a mission to accelerate the digital transformation of Italian companies, institutions, and society. Very fitting with the goals of Insead. Previously, she was General Manager of Consumer and Devices Sale in Central and Eastern Europe, transforming the business, bringing PC market back to growth, and creating a high-performing, diverse, and talented team with a strong growth mindset. Silvia is also part of the board of Valero D Association, which she helped create to increase women's leadership in the corporate world in Italy, and she's a board member of GoFide. Silvia started her career at McKinsey as a consultant in media and telecom, and then moved to Vodafone, where she headed consumer marketing in Italy. Silvia holds an undergrad degree from Bocconi University and an MBA from Insead. She is married with 2 kids, lives with her family in Milan. Please help me welcome Silvia Candiani, MBA 96J.